Today we're going to use the Refactr platform to clone a GitHub repository that contains Terraform configurations, and we're going to apply those configurations, which will deploy a Fortinet Fortigate virtual firewall appliance into Amazon Web Services. First, let's look at the current resources in AWS. So you can see we don't have any running instances. We have just the default security group. We have no elastic IPs. We have 0 network interfaces. And we have a default VPC. So now let's go to the Refactr platform and let's check out the credential that we're going to use. So the Refactr platform has a secure credential store, and in here we've created an IAM access key. When you click on edit, you can't see any of the secret information. Now let's go look at the job that we're going to run. So here we have this job, FTF1000, create. It's going to run this pipeline, deploy Fortinet FTF1000. So let's go ahead and run it, and we'll review what's in the pipeline. So now while it's running, we'll click on this link and it takes us right to the pipeline itself. So here we've got just a debug statement at the beginning that says we've started the pipeline. The next step is the clone of the Terraform contents from the repository. Well, first, the master branch is being cloned, and we're putting it in this folder path here. So let's take a look at the repo itself and see what it has. So we've got the main.terraform, we've got terraform.tfvars, that'll be interesting for us later. And then you can see here we've got a VPC that's created. It creates a Fortigate firewall, attaches 3 different network interfaces to the firewall, and then it creates these 3 subnets which are attached to those network interfaces. Fortinet has created this solution, and that's why we're using it. Let's see. The next thing we want to go over is, we'll go back to the pipeline, and let's look at the next step here. This is a file step, and what it's doing is it's overwriting the terraform.tfvars file. So in the tfvars file, you can see it's got these key value pairs, one on each line. And then this part here is the Refactr expression engine, which evaluates the code between the delimiters, being the curly bracket and the pipe delimiters, and then expands those values. In this case, these are pipeline variable values, and they get expanded and then saved to this file. And you can see that happening here as well. We're fetching the vars.region, vars.ssl password, and availability zone. So let's take a look at those variables here. You can see what they look like in a pipeline. So here we've got some Boolean values, and then you can see here the AWS key name, the region, availability zone, and the SSL password, which is a secure string, so we can't see the value. And then the last step is the deploy Fortinet firewall step. Now this is a special step because it's a sub-pipeline, so it has its own parameters, and we're passing our variables from this pipeline into the parameters, or the inputs, of the sub-pipeline. And we can open the sub-pipeline by clicking Open in Builder, so let's do that. And then you can now see the sub-pipeline, which has a plan, apply, and destroy step. And you can see that these are the 4 variables for this pipeline. And this first 3 are Booleans, and then the AWS credential required here. So let's go back to AWS and review what's been created so far. So if we just refresh, you can see we've got the instance has been created and it is initializing. We should have a security group here that's been created. We have an elastic IP and network interfaces. 3 network interfaces have been created. And I should have a VPC as well. Yeah, so we've got this VPC that's been created. So let's go back to the Refactr platform and review the run output. So we'll click on this icon here, run history. You can see this last one here, run number 83, was the one we had just initialized. So let's go over the run output. You can see over here, it's kind of a summary at the top left of the run. On the left here, you can see the steps, and each step has like an icon saying whether it succeeded or failed, or in this case, skipped. We can look at the variables that we use for this run. We also have, sometimes we'll have output. But let's click on the variables, and we can go over that. We toggled on the plan variable and the apply variable, and we have the destroy variable set to false, which is why it was skipped. The AWS credential, key name, region, availability zone, and SSL password. And then on the right side here, this is the output. Currently the context is every step, but you can select a specific step and just see the output from that particular step. The one we're interested in is the apply step. Terraform configuration outputs are printed here, and so what we can do is select that, copy it, open it up in a browser. This is the URL for the Fortigate Firewall. It doesn't have a valid SSL certificate, but we know this is ours, so we can accept that warning. And now we have to pass in the default username and password. So the default username is admin. And if we go back to the Refactr platform, we get the instance ID, which is the initial password used. It's going to prompt us for a new password. We'll put in the old one, and then we'll create a new one. I'll just paste that in here. Put a new password, confirm. Now it's going to prompt us to log in. And now we need to upload a valid license file. So let's add that license file. Hit OK. And now the system is rebooting. Intro Jeopardy music here. So it's rebooted, so we're going to log in again. And success. We are now logged into the Fortigate user interface. I hope you found this video useful, and thanks for watching.